Come to us from Dayton, Ohio. Trade Vision MMA. Let's give it for Arles Mamadalia. His opponent, hailing out of the red corner this evening, coming to us from Allentown, Pennsylvania, training in Rowdy MMA. Let's give it up for Trent Stump. Heading the action in the ring tonight, referee Keith Peterson.
If I remember correctly, both of these guys have a little bit of experience, so it should come out fairly relaxed. Feeling out process. Trent walking him down. Ilyas is backing up.
Trent's feigning a level change to kind of keep him guessing.
Out of the two fighters, Trent definitely looks to be the more relaxed of the two.
Ooh, good reversal here. He's fighting off the takedowns.
Nice knee strikes. Trent looking to take the back. He's looking for a takedown. Lifts him up and plants him on the mat.
Big takedown.
Let me see some elbows to the body.
Straight to a mount,
Gets
takes
to
the
the mount,
back, both hooks in. Nice transition to the back.
Looks like he's got it.
It's tight. That was a quick.
He's under
Very
the chin.
tight.
It's a matter of time.
He's not getting out of this.
It's a matter of time.
The official ruling has it as such. Your winner, round one, 1 minute. Winner by tap out, rear naked choke. Red corner, Trent Stump. Stump.
Hey everybody, welcome to Monsoon Live right here on YouTube. I'm your host, Jeffrey Monsoon Misek. And yes, we're in studio today with another local MMA fighter. This is Mr. Trent Stump. His record, 3-1. His last fight was by submission at XCC 26 back in November. Trent, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
So, I heard through the grapevine that you were injured. Can you tell us what happened?
I was competing at Anaga. Funny story, I was doing good throughout the whole entire tournament. Actually got a knee bar and toe hold my first two matches, and then my final match I was going against my teammate at Balance Studios, Cody, and I had his back and shoulder just hit the mat, and it just was a minor injury. Was out for about 4 to 5 weeks. Did some physical therapy, but now I'm back now and ready to get back into it.
Sweet. Now, tell us about your MMA career.
My MMA career started when I was 19, I believe, which was a year or two ago. Yeah, a year ago. First fight was at the Armory against Ronnie Levine. It was an insane fight. We actually got fight of the night. It was just so back and forth. He got a lot of good hits on me. I got some good hits on him. And at the end of it, my hand was raised, but it was an intense, crazy fight. Honored to be into that fight. Received a lot of compliments from Greg Serb because of that fight, and also my other fights. But MMA, I've grown up watching it. Martial arts, I started at a young age of 5, and when I first saw the UFC, which was about the same time, maybe a year later, I saw that I wanted to get into that, and then ever since then I've just been trying to work to attain a career in MMA, trying different martial arts out, and finally, just a few years ago, I was able to get my first fight, and now I'm 3-1 right now, which is pretty good.
Now, are you more of a stand-up fighter or more of a ground fighter in terms?
It's pretty funny that if you look at my fights, I definitely look like I'm a ground fighter, but I really don't mind standing up and banging. Like that's something I'm just not shy about doing.
Now, we had somebody ask us through our emails. They wanted to know, how do you motivate yourself when you're hurt? You come up, you had that shoulder injury. Like, how do you motivate yourself?
That's a good question. To me, it's not just when you're hurt. It's an everyday thing. Motivation, you have to look for it with the people around you. See who's actually there, who's pushing you. Especially with injuries, when you're down, a lot of people kind of like look away from you because you're not high up anymore. When you get that win, you always have people around you patting you on the back. But when you're down low on an injury, you usually don't have that many people around you. So you have to look to those people who are by you and use them as motivation. And you want to make them proud. Everyone who's around me, I want to make them proud, fight for them, win for them, make something of myself. There's a lot of people in, I don't want to say just my MMA career, but also in life, that they kind of just want to put you down and see you down. And to me, that motivates me because like I know I can show them wrong. I can prove them wrong.
Now that you're fully recovered, from that 4 week, how are you preparing for your next fight?
Right now, as of this Tuesday coming up, it would be my 3rd week coming back. There's really nothing in the works for fights right now. Although I would like to get on the next XCC, that's June 23rd. So that's a probability right now. But right now, I'm just trying to get the motor running. Try to feel good, get everything going again because I was out for a little bit there.
Now, my producer has wanted to know this question, and he asked, do you ever get scared when you're in the cage and you look across and you see your opponent and you wonder, what the bleep are you doing here?
That's usually not something that happens when I'm in the cage. It's usually before I walk out to the cage, and as I'm walking out to the cage, you get this euphoric feeling, this intense high, and you're like in the spotlight, and you're like, whoa, is this actually happening? Why am I doing this? Like, should I be doing this? But as soon as I step into that cage, there's a switch that just flips, and I'm game.
Okay. Now, speaking of that walk, we know that they separate the 2 locker rooms, the red side and the blue side. What conversations are going on right before you go out to fight in that locker room? Can you give us a little? You don't have to like spoil anything. Just give us a little hint. What's going on there?
I mean, to tell you the truth, within like, I'd say within like the first 15 to 20 minutes of like when that fight's about to happen, when you're warming up, it's usually just focused on the fight. But besides that, we're usually just like horsing around, joking around, telling jokes. We're all laid back.
Okay.
It's nothing too serious until like that time when you got to act serious and just do your job,
It's a lot of joking around, and then it's okay. You're 10 minutes away from your fight.
Yeah, then you're serious. You're throwing punches, warming up, getting ready, hitting pads.
Now, we have another fan that has asked, have you ever taken a low blow? And now there are some guys that apparently they get back on their feet in that time limit. And there are others that are unable to go on. What's your take on that? Like giving them extra time, but...
I fully understand that and fully respect that. I've never received one, fortunately, in a fight, but it always happens during practice, and it's funny because it never happens to me when we're sparring, when punches are actually getting thrown, but like usually with wrestling and jiu-jitsu, when you least expect it, that's when it happens. When you're not expecting to get hit, when you're not expecting to get punched, that's when you get hit with a low blow.
Now, the final question is, I always ask this, what do you tell folks who want to get into MMA or in your case, or into boxing or Brazilian jiu-jitsu? What do you say to them?
That's actually a question that someone asked me before. To tell you the truth, you have to be willing to get hit. A lot of people want to get into this sport and they don't want to put in the work. They don't want to accept the risk that they can get beat up. And this sport is actually kind of a little bit weird and taboo because when you step out into that spotlight, you're putting yourself at risk to be exposed when you could get injured, knocked out, choked out in front of all your friends, your family, people who like you value their opinion on you. And if you're not ready for that to happen, then I mean, you probably shouldn't go out there. But you have to have the mindset that anything could happen. I mean, before every single fight, I get into my head that it's to the death. There's no coming back from this. Because if you go out there half cocked, I mean, you can get hurt, and that's not something you want to do. Like it's a serious thing. I mean, to get into MMA, if you're actually trying to fight into the cage, if you're just doing it at a gym just for fun, I mean, that's another thing. I mean, doing it for fun is totally different. But if you're trying to get into the cage, you have to recognize the risks and accept them.
Powerful words from a true champ. Now, I know you had won your last submission by choke, and we do also have our map here. I was wondering if you could show us maybe how you set that up to get into it, or even how you can get out of a chokehold if there is a way. And then maybe a little bit later we'll do some sparring as well, and we'll see the 3-1 at his top performance.
Yeah, man, let's do it.
All right, coming up, a little bit of a coaching session right here on Monsoon Live. All right, everybody, we are back here with our buddy Trent. Trent's going to show us how to, get into a chokehold, because his last fight he won with a choke. And the other one is there a way you can get out of a chokehold? So, Trent, take it away.
All right, so chokes are a fun thing. Usually they either cut the windpipe, cuts the oxygen, or it cuts the blood. The last choke that I won with, it was rear naked choke, and it was more of a blood choke. Really, it depends on the position. So let's say we're going, my last fight, I took the kid's back. So boom, got Jeff's back right here. First important thing with every single submission that you go for, the position is key. If you have a crappy position, you won't necessarily be able to finish the submission. That's what I was taught. So if I have his back, I have my hooks in, I have control with him with my knees, I'm pinching tight, using my heels to control his legs. Now with the rear naked choke, the top hand is the one that's choking. So I'll usually go for an over and under. One hand's over top, and the other hand is underneath the arm, and the top hand's going to be choking. So I'll usually fight one of the hands, get underneath the neck, switch, grab my bicep, and I like to put the back of my palm against his head. You want to get your elbow at like his chin, because you want to cut both sides of the carotid arteries, and then right there you just squeeze, and then the choke's on.
So how can somebody, if they get into one of those chokes, is there any way they could get out? I mean, if they have, like, say we fell and there was a bad position, is there any way they could?
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll use the same exact position. Jeff has my back. Boom, he's setting up the choke. Go ahead, you're setting up the choke. Now you grab your bicep and then go. So right here, and then he has his hooks in. So right here, I mean, you usually have a limited amount of time to get out. A bunch of people want to fight this hand on the bottom when you really don't want to fight that hand. You want to fight this hand, because this is the hand that's pushing your head forward, cutting your oxygen supply or your blood supply. So what you want to do is reach back, get that hand and pull it down. And then usually I'll do a 2-on-1 and have control. And if I still feel threatened, I'll do a 1-on-1 and try to get out. And then boom, I'll try to get into their guard. So I'm facing them then, because you really don't want your back to them. So again, just one more time. Just choking me out, boom. Come, peel the top hand off, 2-on-1. I'm also pressuring back into them. Peel this other hand off. Circling out.
So now you know how to get out of a chokehold. It's all the key is position. If they don't have a good position, you can get out. If they have a good position, you're tapping out pretty much.
Absolutely.
All right, that's it for this edition of Monsoon Live. The next time we'll see you, we'll have another great interview or sparring. Anything you want to say before we wrap this show up to the folks out there, to any sponsors or fans or family?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my friends and family and teammates for all the support, all my coaches and cornermen. Big thanks to you guys. Thank you guys for having me on today, and I'm looking to get back into the cage and making you guys proud again.
And you can believe the next time he's stepping in a cage, we'll be there to cover it. That's it. Have a great week, guys. Later days.